Good morning, Mountain Christian. Well, finally, the headlines have changed. It's no longer all about the coronavirus, but now we have something else. It's all about racism and discrimination. But I'm not sure the headlines have changed all that much. It seems like racism and discrimination, they're always there. I mean, right now it's Black Lives Matter. A few months or a year ago, it was the Me Too movement. Before that, it was Gay Pride. It always seems like these issues are in the headlines, and they are. And it's not like we haven't really made huge efforts to try and stamp out discrimination. I mean, emancipation, the Civil Rights Act, the Equal Opportunity Act, and many others. We have enacted laws to try and prevent racism. Yet, here we are. We still struggle with the same old problem, that we don't respect everybody equally. It's a problem that continues. And I'm afraid that, no matter what laws or regulations we put in place, the problems will remain. That's not to say that there's not a solution to the problem. In fact, I think the solution's very clear. We have to start viewing other human beings in the same way that God views us, as having value, because God created man in his own image. As we read in Genesis 1:26, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. No other creature is given this designation. No other creature is created in God's image. We are special. We are created in God's image. That's not to say that we are created equal to God or that we're identical to God. Rather, we have a similarity, that we share certain likenesses to God. Things like, we know the difference between right and wrong. We have the ability to reason. We're creative. We're physical, spiritual beings like God. But how does this change things? How does recognizing this made in God's image, how will that change things? Well, I think there are three important ways that it changes our perspective. The first way is in just recognizing that the significance of a human is not based on who they are or what they've accomplished or what they do. Rather, it's based on the mark they bear, the mark of their Creator. The fact that their significance is in the fact that they were created. And so, if you stop and think about it, the worst atrocities against mankind were when they've forgotten this simple fact. The fact that when man begins to call another people a savage or an infidel or whatever other term they want to attach to it, it's saying that they're not as fully developed, they're not as fully evolved as we are. So they're not equal, and we don't have to treat them equal any longer. This is a slippery and dangerous slope, and that we've seen repeated time and time again. The second way is it's important is that even so, when we start to recognize this significance in being created in God's image, we still recognize that people are different, that they don't think the same way, they don't act the same way, they don't have the same morals, they don't believe the same way that I do. And I struggle with that sometimes, right? And so, even so, we have to remember that, again, God created us in His image. And at one point, that was a very beautiful image. However, since the fall with sin, that image has been tarnished. It's been distorted. It's no longer the image that it once was. As Ecclesiastes 7:29 says, God made man upright, but they have sought out many devices. We have fallen from that image. So we need to recognize our own shortcomings before we begin to judge others, recognizing that we've all fallen, that all of our images are tarnished. And so we need to remove our plank from our own eyes before we begin judging others, as we read in Matthew 7:3. But the third way is just in the beauty of God's plan, in His plan of redemption through His Son, Jesus Christ. God has also built in this regenerative process of His Son. We are being regenerated to look more and more like the image of Jesus Christ that we were created for. As it's written in Colossians 3:10, you have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge after the image of its creator. Ultimately, the whole goal is being conformed to the image of his Son. Romans 8:29. That's the whole plan. And think about the image that we are trying to emulate, that we are being regenerated in Jesus Christ. Who did Jesus Christ associate with? The lowly, the sinful, the sick and the poor, the tax collectors. This is who Jesus was known to interact with. He treated everyone as equal, as having value. Jesus pursued all of them. So in this way, I think we have a great opportunity to shine our light, to be part of the solution by treating others equally. But not only that, by shining our light in showing how we need to show equality to all people. So just be blessed this week, Mountain Christian. As you go out, you can make a difference, and you can show others how to make a difference. Be blessed.